Let me tell you a story about confidence. Growing up, I was always seen to have a certain level of confidence. Now this is because from the ages of 13 or 14, I trained with weights, I was in the gym. I was always in pretty good shape compared to the average person. So from the exterior, I looked very confident. I was quite proud of the way I looked, of my achievements. And when I walked around with my head held high. And because of this, I had a lot of interest from girls. This was actually the reason why I was able to have any experiences when I was younger. Because whilst I looked confident, I was not anywhere near confident enough to actually do any of the approaching myself. So if it wasn't for those girls who came and approached me and basically gave themselves to me on a platter, as weird as that sounds, I would not have had any experiences at an old age and I'd be a virgin. Maybe not now, and I would have still been a virgin for quite a few more years, I would have imagined. And why am I telling you this? Because many people ask me, how do you become more confident? And this is the first session of my coaching. It's called Becoming the Ultimate Man, which is building the unwavering confidence that most men will never experience. So how did I actually build my confidence? So I've told you that I was confident when I was a young kid because of the way that I looked, but I wasn't confident a day. I could barely hold a conversation. I could barely hold eye contact. I could never approach a girl. Barely even talk to guys. I was the sort of kid where I could walk around head held high, looking very confident because I knew I was shredded. I knew I was in pretty good shape. I was literally 140 pounds, but I was shredded. I had abs. Not many kids had abs that I was friends with. And because of this, I had interest from females. But what was funny was they would look at me and they would want to speak to me. Obviously, they would try and get my attention. But there was so many fucking times I'd go to speak to a girl and it would literally be like, and I'd run off embarrassed because I stuttered, couldn't hold a conversation, blah, blah, blah. People around me literally thought I was autistic because I was so socially incompetent. Could barely get my words out, could barely hold a conversation. In school, in sixth form for me, and even the beginning of uni, college, which is full of all of these really awkward experiences where although people thought I was confident and that drew them towards, when it came to actually communicating, I could not hold my own to save my life. And there's one specific situation that stands out to me when I was around 18 years old. So in the UK, when you're 18, you can go clubbing, you can go drinking. Not like the US or maybe other countries that I know of where you have to wait till you're 20, 21. But anyway, we're in this club in Newcastle and I told myself and my friends, I want to approach some girls, I want to talk to some girls. So I set myself the challenge of doing that. I wasn't going home unless I spoke to some girls. Now, I'd had a few drinks. We call this Dutch courage. I was feeling a bit more confident than usual, a bit more sociable, a bit more warmed up because I was quite an introverted guy back then. And there's a group of girls. We went over and danced with them. Now, anyone who knows me will know I dance like a fucking robot, but somehow this still worked. I'm guessing because I was in okay shape. Regular haircuts, always looked after myself. But anyway, we're dancing with these girls. There's like three of us, three of them. And I say to this girl that I'm dancing with, I was like, oh, come outside to the smoking area. I can't hear you in here. So me feeling very confident, I'm hyped that I've danced with a girl or near a girl, not even with a girl. I lead her outside, I grab her hand, come on, I'm the fucking daddy. And then we just stand there awkwardly and there's like a good 30 seconds of silence where I'm like, fuck, what do I say? Shit. And I'm like nervously looking around, I'm looking at my friend and then I'm like,
where are you from?
And she says Newcastle, obviously. And I stand there looking like a fucking idiot and another 30 seconds passes and she says, I'm gonna go back inside now. And I looked like a strange, weird guy. So how did I go from that to where I am now today? Someone who's not that young, awkward, shy kid. Well, first you have to understand that confidence is not something you're born with. A lot of people think confidence is a personality trait. They see a confident person and they think that person must have been born with that confident. I could never aspire or be that confident because this person was simply made this way. This is not the case. Confidence is a result. It's a result of many things that you've learned and acquired over time that give you more competency. Now, this is a key thing. I'll be talking about competency throughout this entire video. Competency and becoming competent at something is quite literally becoming very skilled and good at something. Most of us have that one thing in our lives that we are very good at. It could be gaming, it could be tying your fucking shoelaces, like whatever it is. And for me, when I was younger, it was the gym, it was diet, nutrition. I became obsessed with this stuff, so I became very competent at this thing. So I had this one foundational layer where, as I said before, I could appear confident, but I wasn't actually confident because I hadn't developed any other area of my life. And this is why you'll see gym bros who are good looking, in good shape, but literally have the social skills of a fucking brick wall because all they've done is max out their physical capabilities. It's not enough. You have to max out or as close to, you have to at least get very good at every other area of your life, which I'm going to talk about. And it is quite simple. You do a thing, you become very competent, you then gain accomplishments in that thing, which gives you confidence. And it's a never-ending cycle. And the more competent you are in several areas, the more confident you will become. But ask yourself this, you've obviously clicked on this video because you don't feel confident. You're wanting to get some free sauce from me because you're wondering, because you're sat thinking, I'm not very confident, how can I be more confident, especially around women? But ask yourself this, how many areas in your life are you actually highly competent and skilled at? How many things do people look to you for answers for? Do you ever get asked for advice on certain things? Do people come to you saying, how do I do this? How do I do that? If they don't, then you know I'm probably not very competent at many things, if anything. And this is most guys these days. They might be very skilled when it comes to gaming, which, yeah, I mean, that's one thing thing, but it's not the real world. You want to be competent and skilled in a real world thing. Look at any very successful or achieved person in society. They are very competent and skilled at many things. And most of that for these men does start with the physical. This is where I think every man should start. Every man should have that foundation of being in good shape. This is a non-negotiable because so few men actually do that these days. Despite what you see on TikTok and maybe in the gym, most men aren't in good shape. And the easiest way to feel good about yourself is to become competent in training and nutrition, which will then give you confidence. And this is 10x because you actually look good. Most skills, you can't see the skill. Whereas with being in good shape, you actually see the result of the skill. And being competent in one area, like I say, is not really enough. You can be exceptionally skilled in one area, but if everything else is lacking, you're not really a confident, well-rounded person, and people will know this. Just like me as a child or as a young kid. And you may be like me. You may be stuttery when you talk. You may be a bit shy. You may be unable to keep eye contact. You may be awkward and fidgety. Now, although you can't address these things directly, and you should, these things will almost fall into place and fix themselves by you simply being more competent in several things. The more value you create for yourself, the more worth you have as a man, the more you will feel confident. The reason why I can walk around with my head held high, speak to a random stranger, speak to random girls and not feel shy is because I know I have value. I have something to offer the world. Most guys, they don't really add anything to the world. Bad example. Even if you're good at gaming, it takes skill to become a good gamer, but what do you really add to the world? Nothing. Whereas you're in good shape, you're competent when it comes to diet, nutrition, health, competent in money, your job, finances, all of these different things. You can advise people. You can advise the average person. You can guide the average person. You can bring them along with you. You can start a YouTube channel. You can create content. You are adding so much value to the world. And that is how you will truly become confident. Now, this is not the answer you probably wanted, but this is the answer. This is the long route. This is the only real route there is to build confidence. You have to become highly skilled in several areas. Now, of course, there are like quick tricks and tips you can do in the meantime, like walking with your chest up, your shoulders back. By doing this, you can produce more serotonin, which can biohack your way to feeling more confident, but it's not real confidence. You have to build that real, genuine foundation of confidence. Otherwise, it's not real. And every time you're in a real situation with somebody, that confidence will fall through and you will feel valueless or worthless. Everybody knows that guy who walks very confidently, talks very confidently, he's funny, he's charismatic, all the girls like him, all the guys respect him. I guarantee that person is very skilled in many areas. That's literally it. And if you're sat thinking, I don't know where to start, I don't know what things to become competent in, maybe you have a baseline level of fitness, but you want to become more skilled in other things, health, wellness, money, relationships, the things you will use in your everyday life. Maybe you have a shitty job. Okay, become the best skilled worker in that shitty job. I've worked my fair share of crap jobs, cafes, restaurants, factories, and even though I didn't like the job per se, I made sure that I did a very fucking good job because I like to take pride in myself. And when you become skilled at that job, you will then develop more skills and more confidence. So even if you hate the job, you'll still carry things forward from that thing. Whatever it is you're doing in your life right now, make it a goal for yourself to become very skilled and competent at that thing. That in itself will create the accomplishments that will lead to the confidence that will shine through in your everyday life. Of course, this is only the tip of the iceberg, and if you want to get full insider information, then I coach clients one-to-one on this. You can book a free consultation below if you're interested in working with me. But otherwise, go and watch my TikTok, my Instagram. I'm far more active on there, and see you all in the next video.